Hello! Welcome to another week's reading vlog. This week I'm doing a bit of a themed reading week. I've only ever done this once before. It's incredibly difficult to do themed reading weeks with a TBR game that is difficult to manipulate. But I'm doing a themed reading week based off one of the books that I did get into TBR Pursuit, so we should at least get one TBR Pursuit book read this week, but I'm going to be ambitious and then read nothing else from TBR Pursuit this week. But as you can probably tell from what I've titled this, I don't know what I'm calling it yet, I'm doing a FairyLoot week. I will probably have just called it a FairyLoot week, I don't know. But yeah, I'm doing a themed reading week based on FairyLoot books, and the one FairyLoot book that I managed to get into TBR Pursuit for this month was Bonecryer's Moon by Catherine Purdy. This is a beautiful edition with these like glittery minty green edges. It's gorgeous. This book I don't know an awful lot about because I haven't read it yet, but I think it's about bonecryers and like in order to be a bone crier, which I think means they like carry the souls of the dead through to the afterlife or something like that, something about dead people. But in order to be a bone crier, they have to kill their true love, I think. I've heard that it's very dramatic and everyone's just scared about who's killing who and who's dying, and therefore there's not enough death. I'm pretty sure that's how Ashley described it. But yeah, I'm gonna be reading Bonecryer's Moon by Catherine Purdy to kick off my FairyLoot reading week. I have a lot of books from FairyLoot because I've been subscribed to them for a really long time. We must be at like 3 years or something now that I've been subscribed to FairyLoot. They're my favourite book books. They're the only one that I'm like actively subscribed to. I love them very much. It's a book box that I believe in. But I do have a lot of books on my shelves from FairyLoot. I have also read a lot of FairyLoot books, and the thing I think with a book box subscription and having no choice in the books that you are given from the box is it can be very hit and miss. Like there have definitely been some FairyLoot books that I've read and not liked, given to the sea, and there's also been some that I haven't even tried. And I've just seen them and known that they're not for me, and the box hasn't necessarily been a miss because there may still have been cool items in it, but the book from that particular box would have been a bit of a miss. It can be a bit hit or miss, so some I've liked, some I haven't liked, and a lot that I haven't got to yet. I think there's a few that's on my like backlist TBR, like ones that have been on my shelves for a really long time. I'm looking around trying to find some now. I think a few might have been on my these books will self-destruct list. Some I just straight up unhaul, but there's a few that I'm excited about and I want to take this week to try and get through a few of them. So we're kicking it off with Bonecryer's Moon because this is TBR Pursuit's pick. I haven't started it yet. It's quite late on Monday, I'm not gonna lie, it's like nearly 10 o'clock and I haven't started it yet. But I'm gonna go to bed and start it now, and we will see what the rest of the week brings me, because I don't really have like a TBR planned for the week, because I don't know how long it's going to take me to get through these, and I don't want to pressure it too much. But in order for this week to be a successful like themed reading week, I would like to get through at least like 3 books, so this and 2 more, but we'll see how far I get. I might surprise myself. Last time I did a themed reading week I read 7 books. I don't see that happening. But yeah, I just wanted to introduce the vlog before I go and get in bed and start reading, but that is what I'm now going to do. So, welcome to this vlog. I hope you're excited to see what I think of all of the FairyLoot books that I haven't yet got to. Not all of them, but a few of them. Alright, I'm going to go to bed and read this. I will chat to you tomorrow. Hello, it's Tuesday night. Like, I'm now going to bed Tuesday night, and I have not made as much progress in this as I would have wanted. So, Bonecryer's Moon, still. I'm only up to page 84, and I had wanted to be up to where I've tabbed, which is like page 200 and something. 230 is where I had wanted to be, and I'm only up to page 84. Which is really quite poor. I'm going to try and read a little bit more in bed, but Jake's probably going to have the TV on and I can never read when the telly's on, so probably not going to be very successful. So bit of a fail today, but hopefully I can pick it up tomorrow and make much more progress, because it's not going to be a very good themed reading week if I don't manage more than like 2 or 3 books, especially if I don't manage more than 1, but it's only Tuesday, I have plenty of time. But so far I'm just not feeling it too much, which is probably why I'm not that into it. So it follows, I think it's pronounced Elise, but like Ailese, Ailesse. I'm pronouncing it Elise. Elise and Sabine, who are bone criers, which means that they have to kill animals and wear their bones in order to gain their powers, which are called graces, and to complete the like bone criers ritual they have to kill their one true love. And I mean, from that description I should probably get that it's gonna end up being romancy, but yeah, so far I just haven't been that into it. Like, there's been quite a lot of like fighting, but like not captivating fighting, because I don't care enough at this point. So yeah, not got too many strong opinions on this so far, just very meh, which is probably why I'm not picking it up. I will rectify that and we will get through this. Just look at how pretty those sprayed edges are. I don't even know if you can tell on camera, but it's like glittery. It's so pretty. Anyway, I'm gonna go to bed and see if I can read any more of this. Hello, I just wanted to update you on Bone Crier's Moon. I only managed to get to page 112 last night. I'm really not feeling it. Unfortunately, I don't know why. Like, there's nothing that I necessarily hate, but I suppose the focus on like love and soulmates and like, I don't know, nothing about the writing is captivating me. Nothing about the atmosphere is captivating me. Like, for the focus on the bone criers and their worship of the moon goddess and stuff, like, it's not very atmospheric, and all of the like fighting parts, I don't care enough to care about the fighting yet. So far, I think my favourite part is the very beginning where they're hunting a shark, and like that's my favourite bit so far, but I am only 112 pages in. I do try to tend to say, like, if I've got to 100 pages and I'm really not feeling it, then I would DNF it, but for the purposes of this vlog, I'm gonna keep going. As I said, my plan for yesterday was to get to this tab, but it's now my plan for today to get to this tab. Maybe if I get to that tab and I'm still not feeling it, then we will have to have some serious discussions. But yeah, I'm a bit gutted, I'm a bit disappointed. I was hoping that this would be a really me sort of read and I'd gobble it up in a couple of days, but it's Wednesday now and I've only read 112 pages. I mean, it's early on Wednesday, it's still Wednesday morning, or like nearly midday. It might be like midday. Yeah, 12 o'clock. Literally, 12 o'clock, midday. And I haven't read any today yet. So, yeah, if I can get to that tab, we will see. We will see how it goes. But I just wanted to give you that update that I'm just bleh. But, yeah, I will chat to you at some point later when I've made more progress, have more thoughts. But, right now I'm just not feeling it. Hello, happy Thursday. Confession time this week has gone entirely not to plan. It's Thursday. And did I read any of Bone Crier's Moon yesterday? No. No, I did not. So it's Thursday now, and I'm still on page 112. I thought I was on page 120. Clearly I was not. Yeah, this is not going to plan. I don't know if it's me or if it's the book, so my plan is to swap my book. I might come back to this later in the week, depending on how my swap those. But, still sticking with my FairyLoot theme, I'm still trying this. I'm gonna try and read River of Royal Blood instead. I don't know too much about this, but something about it's been attracting me lately. It's been one of those books that's been on my shelf for a really long time and I've never really thought about. And then when I was planning this week and looking at what I wanted to read, obviously Bonecryer's Moon was in TBR Pursuit, so that was my must read. And then something about this on my shelf just made me want to read it. It's about blood magic. I don't know too much more than that. Magic of marrow and blood. A rare gift held most notably by the first human queen of Myr and continued through her line. Also the most fearsome. I'm assuming our main character is going to have that magic. 16-year-old Eva is a princess born with the magic of blood and marrow, a dark and terrible magic that hasn't been seen for generations. Oh, okay, so she has to battle to the death with her sister for the throne. Oh, but it's not just her sister that wants to see her dead, there are assassins. Oh, an enthralling adventure set in a lush North African-inspired fantasy world. Yeah, I don't really know what to expect from this. It's got black sprayed edges, which is always pretty, but battle to the death for the throne was not quite what I was expecting. But a river of royal blood, I mean, they're gonna make a river out of each other's blood, aren't they? Okay, nice. Yeah, I'm gonna try and read this, because I'm just not making any progress with this, unfortunately. Which is a shame, because it's really pretty and I really wanted to. But if I can get through this, then we'll head back to this. But for now, it can just sit down there out of the way. Because we're going to focus on this instead. Wish me luck. Well, I've come to the conclusion it was definitely the book that was stopping me from reading and not me, because I'm now 107 pages into A River of Royal Blood. And I've only been reading for like a couple of hours, so this is good. I'm enjoying this a lot more than I was enjoying Bonecryer's Moon, which is what we wanted, which is what I thought. I wasn't really feeling Bonecryer's Moon, which is why it had taken me 4 days to get 112 pages in, and it's taken me 2 hours to get 107 pages into this. And I mean, I might be able to get through this today. Maybe. No promises. Maybe tomorrow. But like, I'm really enjoying this. It's about 2 princesses who are forced to, I think it's on the youngest one's 17th name day, fight to the death, and the winner becomes queen. Which is a plotline similar to 3 Dark Crowns, but when I read that, there was like, not fighting to the death. I mean, we haven't got there yet, they're building up to the fight to the death, but I think this is part of a series, so might not happen. But I don't know, it's seeming pretty positive, and each of the people in this world have some sort of magic, but the magic seems very random. Like, it's not elemental magic or some sort of like ordinary magic, and there doesn't seem to be any like rhyme or reason to why a certain person has a certain magic. It's just what they're born with, just happens to be. And our main character has blood and marrow magic. Is that what it's called? Bone and marrow, blood and marrow? Marrow and blood, yeah. So like bone and blood magic, which is a really rare gift that is really dangerous and people are terrified of it. So she's grown up being quite scared of it and is therefore not really able to use it properly. She's never been taught how to use it properly, which is pretty bad when she has to fight to the death with her sister, who is really good at her magic. So I'm enjoying this. There's been some events so far. I'm liking the atmosphere. The writing is really easy to read. The world is really interesting to me. There are humans, fae, and bloodkin. And bloodkin are like vampires, I'm assuming. And then there's the fae, who are, you know, fae. Oh, my timer's just gone off. And I can't remember what the other creatures are called, but they seem a bit like Chimera, or not quite Chimera, but maybe like humans with some sort of animal feature, whether that be horns, tail, wings, talons, but I can't remember what they're called. Chimera? Chimera, maybe. Sounds a bit like chimera if I'm pronouncing that anywhere near correctly. But that's interesting, and those creatures haven't yet played a big role in it, but I'm kind of predicting that they will, because they've been like kind of banished because of an uprising that happened many years previous, but like I feel like they're gonna play a bigger role in this. But yeah, I'm enjoying this a lot. The magic is interesting. The politics seems pretty interesting to me. Relationships are strained, but there's also some nice relationships as well. I'm just enjoying it a whole lot at the minute. It's a pleasurable reading experience, and this is what I needed, I think. So I'm looking forward to carrying on with this. However, I was thinking that I might film a read with me thing, like a real-time read with me. I haven't done one in a while, and I haven't done one because the last one I did got a lot of like shitty comments on it from people who clearly had stumbled across something that wasn't in their normal corner of the internet, people that were not aware of BookTube and so on. So got a lot of really bizarre comments that kind of made me think, alright, I'm not going to film one of these again. But I think I am. I like them. I like watching them and reading along with them. The people who should have been watching that video seemed to like it. So maybe I'll film one and just say in the beginning of it, like, if you've stumbled here from somewhere else, heads up, this is just me reading for half an hour as background noise for other people who want to read their own books along. No, I'm not going to read out loud to you. It's, yeah, just half an hour of me reading. If that's not what you're here for, off you fuck. Maybe. But yeah, I think I am going to film one. And I think I might try and read Bonecryer's Moon for that, so that like I have a reason to sit still and read for half an hour, because it's TBR Pursuit book, so I should still try and finish it this week. I might read that for half an hour for a real-time read with me video, and then read this for fun myself, because I'm enjoying it very much. And it's beautiful black sprayed edges. Anyway, on top of this update, I also had the Amazon man at my door, and I think I know what one of these is. I think I know what this is. I think this is Ship of Shadows from Gavin, but I don't know what this one is. So let's open the one that I think I know what it is first. Haha, it is Ship of Shadows. Yeah, Gavin ordered me this for my birthday. He let me know and was like, it's part of your birthday present, but obviously it's not out yet, so it'll come when it's out. But I've heard so many good things about this from Pris and Gavin, mainly. It's illustrated by Carl James Mountford, who is my favourite illustrator ever. It's a beautiful cover. Look, it's got like this window and then there's the ship on this shiny thing in the background. Very pretty. I don't know too much about this though, to be honest, other than Gavin Pris absolutely loved it, and it's pirates. Swashbuckling tale that has it all. That's it for me. Longing for magic and adventure, mysterious ship arrives in her Spanish harbour city, crewed by a band of ruthless women. Sailed out of legend. Life aboard the Ship of Shadows is more than she ever bargained for. It will take all of Alasia's strength and skill to gain the trust of her fellow pirates and discover what they are risking everything to find. Piratey middle grade that has good reviews. Thank you very much, Gavin. I don't know if there was a note for this, because I knew it was from you. Surprise from Gav. Thanks, Gav. Well surprised. I am really looking forward to reading this though, so thank you very much, Gavin, for the belated birthday present. I'm excited by it. Yay! And then I have no idea what this one is, but it feels like a comic. Let's see. Here's the note. Gift note from Harriet. Enjoy your gift. Just a little thank you from Harriet. Thank you, Harriet, for Volume 3 of the Shades of Magic comic thing. The Steel Prince, The Rebel Army. I have read volumes 1 and 2 of this, and it's Schwab. I'm gonna collect them all. I love it. Yes. But they're definitely not my favourite Schwab things, but I really enjoy them. Like, they're definitely a spin-off sort of thing. I don't think you could enjoy the comics without reading the core trilogy first, but I love them so much. So Steel Prince follows King Maxim back when he was the Steel Prince, so before he was king, and it's like his growing up and how he became the man we know, and his like adventures as the Steel Prince, because he's this like legendary steel magic man. I don't know what this one is about. The rebel army. I'm assuming there's a rebellion and an army. I'm enjoying this series as an addition to the trilogy. Yay, thank you very much, Harriet, for this. I'm gonna want to read this pretty soon because it's short. Maybe I'll try and read it next week because, you know, FairyLoot week this week. But yay, for my little prezzies, thank you very much to Harriet and Gavin for these beauties today. Also, this kind of matches my hair and my outfit. I'm very orange today. Very, very orange. Oh, also, I just want to show you the stickers that I've put on my TBR cart. Can you see my little stickers? So I've got my little Isabel and Reese, Timmy and Tommy. Then we've got KK Slider and Tom Nook and the little switch. They're the transparent stickers that G got me for my birthday from Redbubble. And I decided they would look pretty cute on here. You can see that Reese and Isabel need like the bubbles taking out of them a little bit more, like the Switch has. But I just haven't been bothered to like get a card and flatten them out properly. But they look really cute. I want to get some more and like proper deck this out with little Animal Crossing stickers because I'm obsessed. Hello, happy Friday. Excuse my hair, I've just had a shower and dried it and it's desperately in need of straightening, but I haven't done that yet. I had hoped I would, I've got hair stuck in my book. I had hoped I would finish A River of Royal Blood yesterday, but I didn't, unfortunately. However, the more I look at this, the more I just realise how much I was struggling with Bonecryer's Moon, and it wasn't necessarily me. I'm up to chapter 26, page 269 of A River of Royal Blood, which I started yesterday. So I will definitely finish it today, because I have less than 100 pages left, so that shouldn't really take me too long. So I'm looking forward to the end of this. I have really enjoyed this. It's feeling like a 4-star for me. Like, it's not quite 5-star material unless the ending is truly incredible, but it definitely feels like a 4-star for me. I'm really invested in this story. A bit of a romance plot has come along into this, but it's definitely a side plot and is not impacting the main plot yet, which is kind of how I like it. It's okay for our characters to have a little bit of a side romance plot alongside the, like, killing of their sister. She hasn't killed her sister yet, but that is the plot. Like, she's gonna have to kill her sister, or her sister's gonna kill her and fight to the death for the crown. Yeah. But yeah, the romance isn't overshadowing that at all, so that's okay. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I'm invested in our character and the development of the magic. I'm really into the magic that our main character has. As I said, the magic doesn't seem to have too much logic in that different people have different magics and it seems very random, but I like our main character's magic. I'm into that. But there is some sort of logic in some of the other magic, like the Chimera, I don't know how you pronounce that, people. Their magic is linked to like which tribe they're from, which is pretty cool. So like everyone in their set tribe has that magic, so it seems to be quite hereditary for them, but not for the humans. Their magic is a bit more random. But anyway, I'm really enjoying it. Cannot wait to finish it. And then I don't know if I will go back to try and read more of Bonecryer's Moon today. I probably should. But then I still need one more book to finish this week in order for me to call it a successful, like, FairyLoot reading week. But we'll tackle that once I've actually finished this and decided what I'm doing with Bonecryer's Moon, because I don't know what else to pick up. Right, well, I just thought I would check in with you and let you know that this is really fast-paced and I'm enjoying reading it very much. But I need to go and sort myself out, straighten my very messy hair because I need to go to my mother's. Hooray! I'll take my book. Maybe I'll finish it while I'm there, who knows. Hello! It is Saturday. I didn't speak to you very much yesterday, I don't think. I said I was gonna go and finish River of Royal Blood, but I had to go and see my mum. Yeah, it got really busy yesterday afternoon, so I actually have just sat and finished this today, but I would have loved to have sat and finished it yesterday. This was fantastic. I really liked this. Putting the cover back on it, I think the cover is probably why I wasn't drawn to it too much until recently. I had this just like weird urge to read it. But this was so good. I really, really liked it. I have put it through Core Pile. It got a 7.29 overall, which is a 4-star. I'm happy that I read this, and I think it's probably solidified for me that it wasn't the fact that I was slumping, it's that Bonecrier's Moon has been doing nothing for me. Because even now, like, I've read this whole book and I feel like I could read, I still don't want to read this. So, this was really good. I really liked the magic, really liked the different, like, sectors that the people were broken off into. Like, we had the Chimera people and the Fae and the humans and the Bloodkin. It was a really interesting world. The magic and how the magic worked was a bit random but also pretty cool, and it was not like massively brutal. It wasn't like awfully brutal, but like there was murder. For a plotline that's supposed to be about the sisters fighting to the death, it is the first of a series. I don't know if it's a duology or a trilogy or whatever, but I think the sequel to this comes out next March. March 2021, I think. I will definitely read the sequel to this. I did enjoy it a fair bit, but yeah, for a plotline that's about sisters fighting to the death, it does follow the training to kill one's sister. I enjoyed it. I would recommend it if you've had this one from a FairyLoot and, like me, have, because of the cover, kind of put it on a shelf and thought, I'm not really drawn to that. I recommend that you take the cover off, look at it like this and think, ah yes, that could be fun, because it was. And as I say, it kind of made me realise that I'm not slumping, I just am not enjoying Bonecrier's Moon. So, 4 stars overall for this. The core pile broken down is 7 for characters, 7 for atmosphere, 8 for writing, 8 for plot, 8 for intrigue, 6 for logic, and 7 for overall enjoyment, giving it 7.29, which is a 4 star. Very thrilled that I have read this. On that note, I am making the executive decision to DNF Bonecrier's Moon, unfortunately. I wanted to love this because the cover's beautiful and the sequel's just been, like, the cover for that has been released recently, but this is boring me, and whenever I'm reading it, I don't want to read it. So, I mean, I'm 154 pages in, and I tend to think, like, if I'm 100 pages in and I'm really not feeling it, you should DNF it. And I pushed myself for 154 pages, and I still don't want to read it. So, I'm taking my bookmark out. DNFing Bonecrier's Moon, unfortunately. Therefore, my FairyLoot week so far has had incredibly mixed results. But that's the thing with FairyLoot, and I think I've touched upon this in this vlog. Like, FairyLoot has given me some of my favourite books. Like, even The Darkest Stars, for example, was a book that without FairyLoot I probably never would have stumbled across. Is one of my absolute favourites. These Rebel Waves by Sarah Rush was a FairyLoot book that I probably wouldn't have picked up. Loved it. Sorcery of Thorns probably would have picked up without FairyLoot, but it was in a FairyLoot. Loved it. Skyward by Brandon Sanderson in a FairyLoot. Loved it. What else have we got? Beyond a Darkened Shore by Jessica Leake was definitely one I don't think I would have even known existed without FairyLoot. One of my faves. Love it. So, there are definitely great books within FairyLoot, but sometimes there's a flop, like Bonecrier's Moon, and Given to the Sea, which was a FairyLoot book, and we all know I fucking hated that. And there's been other FairyLoot books that I've DNF'd or unhauled or whatever, and that's the thing about a book subscription box, I think, because you're not picking them out yourselves. It can be very hit or miss, but I still just love the mystery and the intrigue of it. But yeah, long story short, really liked this, DNFing this. So, I'm gonna move on to my third and probably final book of this week, and I'm gonna pick up Girl Serpent Thorn by Melissa Basherdust. I have read Girls Made of Snow and Glass by Melissa Basherdust, and it was a 3-star, pretty average for me, but this one is beautiful with this edition, and those nice minty green edges. I just think the aesthetic of this book is gorgeous. It's quite a little one, so really that's playing into why I'm picking it up, because I've only got today and tomorrow now, and I wanted to make sure I had 3 books at least in this vlog. But I don't know too much about this. I think this was the most recent FairyLoot read-along book, so if people were participating in that, then they may have opinions. Sometimes the princess is the monster. Ooh. What is this one about? The artwork looks interesting. That character over there looks very interesting. There was and there was not. As the stories began, a princess cursed to be poisonous to the touch. Ooh. She's lived her life hidden away from everyone apart from her family, safe only in her gardens. It's not just a story. As the day of her twin brother's wedding approaches, she must decide if she's willing to step outside of the shadows for the first time. Below in the dungeon is a demon who holds knowledge that she craves, the answer to her freedom, and above is a young man who isn't afraid of her, whose eyes linger not with fear, but with an understanding of who she is beneath the poison. Yeah, I'm gonna give this a go. In other news, just because it is also a weekly vlog and I want to tell you other things, I got a parcel from Amazon. It's a bit bashed. I think I know what this is because there was only one thing left on my Amazon wishlist, and I went to my list the other day and it was empty. So someone's bought me Bulbasaur. Aww, it's in a bag. Who is this from? Enjoy your gift. This is a late gift for your engagement from Larissa. Thank you so much, Larissa. Bulbasaur! Where's my Charmander? Here's my Charmander. AJ got me Charmander. Oh, don't fall over, little dude. And now I have a Bulbasaur to go with him. I need to get a Squirtle. If anyone knows where I can get a Squirtle, that would be amazing. Oh my god, look at them! I'm so happy. Thank you so much, Larissa. He is adorable. I love him very, very much. Right, Jake has been outside gardening for a little bit, so I'm gonna go and check on him. We've had quite a busy morning actually. We've done food shopping, been to the farm, to the butcher's, been to a sofa shop, been to all over the place this morning. So I think it is time for me to go and settle and read this for a little bit. I will check in with you later, maybe tomorrow, I don't know. Oh, before I go though, because I've just remembered, I wanted to show off my new earrings because they're adorable. Let me just take it off. I don't know if you can see this tiny little orange. Do you see it? Isn't it adorable? Right, so this little orange, it's handmade, made of clay on an earring. It's got a little stem and a leaf and is adorable, and we know I love oranges. So I've got a pair of them, and let me take the other one out, because as you can see I have a little lemon next to it. Little lemon with a little green leaf as well. Isn't it adorable? I love it. And I've got the lemon that side as well. These are handmade out of clay. They're handmade by a shop on Etsy called The Dolly Bakery. They're absolutely adorable. I love them. I love oranges. They were selling the lemons, and it was actually Jake that bought them for me, and he messaged them saying, would you be able to make some oranges? So they custom made me the oranges, and Jake bought me the set of the oranges and the lemons, and I think I might ask them if they can do some limes as well, just because I would have like a full citrusy set But they're so cute and they're so detailed for these tiny little things that are handmade. So I'm going to link the Etsy store for them down below in case you're interested to see what else they've got. They do like little avocados, little cookies, little pizzas, pumpkins, sunflowers. There's so many cute things on there. But I just wanted to show them off. I did show them off on Instagram as well because I think they're adorable. And I mean, the oranges have a place in my heart because obsessed with orange. But just in case anyone's interested in them or wants to get themselves a pair of adorable handmade clay tiny food earrings, I'll leave a link to the Etsy store down below. Yeah, anyway, now I'm gonna go and read my book. I will chat to you later on. Hello, it is much later on Saturday. I keep thinking it's Sunday and then looking at my book and thinking, oh damn, I'm not gonna do it. But it's not, it's Saturday. I still have tomorrow. So, progress on Girl Serpent Thorn. I am currently 62 pages into this. So, a little ways. I didn't read as much as I wanted, just got busy, you know how life works. But 62 pages in. What helped me read it, as always, is the Forest app. But what's even better is that in my Patreon Discord group, we were chatting about the Forest app, and we've set up a Forest Sessions channel so that we can all add each other on the Forest app to do like group focus sessions. So I did a few group focus sessions with Olivia and Bridget today, which was lovely. And I really like that, so I'm hopeful that that little forest group can bring real productivity time to us. So looking forward to doing more of those. But yeah, 62 pages in, and so far I am very, very intrigued. So this follows a girl who is the twin sister of the prince, although not prince because their father passed away, so he's the king in waiting, sort of, but in their culture it is the Shah. I don't know the culture that this is based on. I should look to discover that. But she was cursed, basically, or her mother was cursed. Her mother was cursed so that her firstborn daughter would be poisonous to the touch. So our main character in here, Soraya, is poisonous to the touch, basically, and her family all go off and do all of their great royal things off at court, and she has to be trapped inside, away from everybody, because she's poisonous to the touch. Her touch can kill, because her mother was cursed by a div to have her firstborn daughter poisonous to the touch. And she's not happy about it, really. No one would be, but certain circumstances have arisen and she needs to investigate some truths that she may not have been told, but I don't know how much is said in the blurb, so I don't want to say too much. But she's concerned that the curse that is put upon her is turning her into one of these demon creatures, and she wants to find a way out of it, basically. But I'm only, 62 pages in, which is not very far, but I'm really curious about it so far, and I'm liking its direction. So far so good with this. I am now, however, gonna go to bed because I'm really freaking tired. I might read a little bit more in bed, I might not, but either way, the task tomorrow is to finish this, so hopefully forest focus sessions can help me get through the rest of this tomorrow. But so far so good. The fact that I'm really intrigued tells me good things. Like, hopefully, because I don't think I've got much else on tomorrow, I should be able to get quite absorbed in this, so everything's going well. Hello! It is Sunday night. It's just gone midnight, actually, on Sunday night, so I mean, technically it's Monday morning, but only by 12 minutes. I finished Girl Serpent Thorn bang on midnight. I really didn't think I was going to get it finished today because it's just been a wild day, like, around the house. We've had a lot to sort out and do. There's been little fires that need extinguishing. Not actual fires, the house isn't actually on fire, but you know how life sometimes is just like, oh no, everything's gonna go wrong today. It's been one of those days. So I didn't actually sit down and read this properly until like 9. So it took me 3 hours to read from about page 100 to the end. So 230-ish pages in 3 hours. But I had such a good time reading that in those 3 hours, and the fact that I did and I was enjoying myself like the whole time speaks volumes. I was a little bit apprehensive going into this because it's Melissa Bashadaust and I've read one of her books before and was very meh about it, but I'm pleased to say I like this one a lot more than I liked the other of her books that I've read, so that's all good. I have put this through Corpile, just to save anyone asking. Corpile is G from Book Roast's rating system. If you search Corpile, C-A-W-P-I-L-E, on her channel, you'll find a video explaining how it works and a spreadsheet that you can download to use it yourself. But I've put it through Corpile, and I'm happy to report it's come out at a 4-star. So I've had 2 4-star reads this week, which I think means this week is a success. I mean, I did have a DNF, which sucks, but 4 stars for this. I gave it a 7 for characters, a 7 for atmosphere, a 7 for writing, 8 for plot, 8 for intrigue, 6 for logic, and 7 for enjoyment, which gives it a 7.14 overall, which is a 4-star. I was really intrigued by this plot. So the princess is poisonous, which is just really interesting. There is a female-female romance in here as well. So fantasy book with female-female romance. Everyone's always on the lookout for one of those, aren't they? Here's one. I enjoyed that aspect of it. The romance wasn't like overly in your face, which I liked, and there was a lot of like backstabbing and betrayal and like secret betrayals that aren't really betrayals and lots of things going on in the background to get to the conclusion we got to. But I had a really good time with this and I was really intrigued the whole time, which is exactly what you want. So I call this a win, personally. I enjoyed it a fair bit. I mean, the princess was poisonous. What a concept. Like, poisonous to the touch. What a concept. But yeah, so this week, as I say, 1 DNF, which sucks, and then 2 4-stars. On Corpile, A River of Royal Blood came out a little bit higher than Girl Serpent Dawn did, which feels about right for me because I did enjoy that one a little bit more. This is a standalone though, so give it, you know, bonus points for that. But I've had an alright week. If we ignore the fact that it took me 4 days to get just about 100 pages into Bonecryer's Moon and then decide to DNF it, then from Thursday until now, Sunday, so 4 days, I read 2 books that were both 4 stars. So if I had made the decision to DNF Bonecryer's Moon sooner, this week could have been so much better. But I'm happy with how it's ended. And I feel it's probably been a pretty decent reflection of my overall opinion of FairyLoot. I've probably discussed this already in this vlog, but it can be very hit or miss. FairyLoot have provided me a lot of books that I would otherwise probably have not picked up or even heard of that I've then fallen in love with. 2 of those this week have been exactly that. River of Royal Blood I don't think I would ever have picked up by myself, but I loved it. This one, I saw more hype for this one, so I might have gravitated towards it by myself, but I got it from the FairyLoot box and have thoroughly enjoyed it. Bonecryer's Moon, on the other hand, is one of the occasions in FairyLoot where it's not a book you choose. Sometimes they might not be for you. But that's the risk with a subscription box. But I think it's outweighed by the gems that you find that you love. So yeah, I do think it's a pretty accurate reflection of FairyLoot and my time with them, and over the years how there's been a number of books that I've found and adored, and some that I've either unhauled pretty much immediately or read and really not liked. So yeah, I feel like this experiment has given me the results I expected, I guess. Not that it was really an experiment, just a bit of fun to get me through some more FairyLoot books, and I've enjoyed it. I don't know what this vlog's gonna look like to you because I can't remember what I filmed, because for the first 4 days I read like nothing. So I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen of this vlog. I hope it's been fun for you. I wonder if I might do this again in future. Like, I'm still an active FairyLoot subscriber. I don't see that ending anytime soon. So maybe I'll do another FairyLoot week at some point. But yeah, I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, give us a thumbs up. If you want to chat to me down below about any of these books or anything else, then feel free. And if you aren't subscribed and fancy subscribing, I would be eternally grateful for that. But otherwise, that is all from me this week. I hope you have enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!